Hi Cambridge class, you have got 3 reading activities to do this week. So you can either read it by yourself or you can follow along with me. So the first one is 11-year-old skates into record books, and that was published on the 18th of May. How did skateboarding begin? Skateboarding began in the late 1950s in California. Boards were originally just simple wooden boards with roller skates attached to the bottom. In the 1970s, skating became more popular and better boards allowed people to perform tricks. In 1976, the first skate park was built in Florida. Have you ever dreamed of breaking a world record? Well, one boy from Brazil has found time on his hands to smash a record and make history. Guy Curry, who is only 11 years old, has become the first person ever to land a 1080 trick on a vert ramp. That is an incredible 3 full rotations of the board in the air before landing. Bored and with a lot of time at home, Guy needed a challenge. Luckily, he has been able to drop in to see his grandmother, who lives just 20 minutes away and has her own skate park. He completed his trick in Curitiba, Brazil, on a special skate ramp called a vert ramp. He was filmed by his parents, who then posted the video on social media. Afterwards, Guy commented on the video, 1080, I have no words to explain what just happened. This is not the first time someone has ever completed a 1080. However, previous record breakers used a mega ramp. This is a huge ramp which allows the boarder to gain more speed and time in the air. Guy was able to do his spins with less speed and air. Guy was already the youngest person to have completed a 900-degree turn on a vert ramp. He managed that at just 8 years old. Guy was inspired to start breaking records by one of his heroes, Tony Hawk. In 1999, Hawk completed the first ever 900-degree turn on a vert ramp. So what is next for this record-breaking skater? Well, he has already committed to trying to complete a 1260 on a vert ramp. This is 3.5 rotations in the air. He also has ambitions to get into the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, where there will be a skating competition. So a glossary which explains the tricky words. Rotation is to complete 1 full circle. A vert ramp, a large piece of equipment in the shape of U used in skateboarding. Air, the amount of time a skater stays in the air. And inspired, to be encouraged by someone else's achievements. Let's have a look at the questions. So number 1, how old was Guy when he completed his 1080? Give one reason why, according to the article, it is more difficult to complete a 1080 on a vert ramp rather than on a mega ramp. Number 3, Guy likes a challenge. What evidence can you find in the final paragraph to support this? Number 4, 1080, I have no words to explain what just happened. What does that suggest? Number 5, tick to show whether each statement is true or false. And then lastly, number 6, summarise the key information in this article using 15 words or fewer. So what I'd like you to do now is go back to question 1 and then follow the questions down and keep referring to the text and write down your answers. Pause the video while you do this. Now you can see if your answers are correct. So the second article was published on the 2nd of June, and that's SpaceX launch sent astronauts to ISS. So either follow along with me or pause it and read by yourself. Why did the rocket launch from Florida? Florida is on the east coast of the USA. When rockets launch, they can go east over the Atlantic Ocean and get boost from the Earth's spin. Being close to the equator, where the Earth's spin is faster, also helps the rocket reach high speeds. A new era of spaceflight is underway. On Saturday, NASA and SpaceX launched astronauts from the USA for the first time in almost a decade. The astronauts aboard SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft, Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley, gathered speeds to almost 17,000 miles per hour. They were then ready to meet up with the International Space Station. They will remain on the ISS to carry out scientific research. They will do this for between 1 and 4 months. After their mission, the astronauts will climb back aboard the Crew Dragon spacecraft. It will undock from the space station and splash down in the ocean not far from where they took off. Saturday's launch from Florida is a huge step for future space exploration. It is the first time a commercial company has sent humans into orbit using its own rocket. This is also a big step in the journey towards space tourism. According to SpaceX website, it lays the groundwork for future missions to the Moon, Mars and beyond. Humans have never set foot on Mars, and there have only ever been 6 manned missions to the Moon. The last of these was Apollo 17, all the way back in 1972. The success of this launch makes further projects more possible. NASA planned to return people to the Moon by 2024 as part of the Artemis program. The Artemis program is developing brand new spacesuits, rockets, spacecraft, and even an outpost. The outpost will allow astronauts and supplies to be transported to the Moon's surface. According to NASA's website, it will also act as a staging point for deep space exploration. With so many plans being made for future exploration of space, who knows where we could travel in the future? So the glossary has undock, which means detach from another craft in space. Commercial company is a company that is organised to make money. Space tourism, travelling into space for fun. And outpost is a distant settlement or place. Now let's have a look at the questions. According to the article, to what speed were the astronauts being accelerated? Locate an example from the article of why Florida is used as a location to launch rockets from. Saturday's launch from Florida is a huge step for future space exploration. What is meant by the phrase huge step? Number 4, how do you think the astronauts will be feeling? Number 5, locate 2 examples of new technologies being developed as part of the Artemis program. And number 6, write an alternate headline of no more than 8 words which sums up the key information in the article. So now keep flicking through so you can read the text for each question to make sure you are getting the right information to answer it. I'll then show you the answers. So here are the answers. Let's see if you are right. This is now the third and final reading activity. And this headline is Lily Parr celebrated by Football Museum. And that was published on the 10th of June. Who was Lily Parr? Lily Parr was a professional footballer who played for over 30 years. She scored 986 goals in her career and was the first woman to be featured in the Football Hall of Fame. Lily Parr, the superstar footballer, will be honoured with her own gallery in the National Football Museum in Manchester. You might not have heard the name Lily Parr, but without groundbreaking athletes like her, football today would look very different. She was one of the first female professional footballers, playing between 1919 and 1951 and scoring a massive 986 goals in her career. That's more than Ronaldo or Messi. She even played in the first ever recognised women's international match between England and France in 1920. Her football team, Dick Care Ladies FC, represented England and beat the French team 4-0. Women's football was more popular than men's at the time. A whopping 53,000 people went to see her team play in 1920. However, the sport faced serious challenges. The FA banned women from playing on their pitches in 1921 because they didn't think football was suitable for them. This meant they had to play on much smaller pitches. That ban wasn't lifted until 1971. There are 110 statues of male players, but despite the amazing success of players like Lily Parr, there wasn't one of a female footballer until last year when a statue of her was created. Lily Parr's statue will be part of a whole new gallery about Lily's life and career. It will celebrate her influence on football, as well as the challenges women footballers have come to face and overcome. Belinda Scarlett, the curator of the gallery, said that Lily's influence is highly significant and underrepresented. Hopefully, shining a light on Lily and her amazing achievements could inspire the next football superstar of the future. The glossary: the word career, a job or occupation taken for a significant amount of time. FA is Football Association, the body which governs the rules of football in England. Influence is to be able to inspire others to act the same. And curator, a person who is in charge of what goes in a gallery or in a museum. And here are your questions, so pause the video as you answer them and flick back to the reading text. Number 1, why do you think the author uses the word groundbreaking to describe athletes like Lily Parr? Number 2, what will the new gallery at the National Museum of Football be about? Number 3, attendance for women's football games dropped after 1921. Use the news story to explain why you think this was. Number 4, why do you think the National Football Museum have created a gallery about Lily's life? Number 5, number these events in Lily Parr's career in the same order in which they occurred. One has been done for you. And number 6, summarise this news story in 15 words or fewer. So now answer the questions and remember to keep going back to the text. And these are the answers, so see if you are correct. I hope you've done well. See you later.